Okay, Phil D writes, "Hi guys, been watching you guys every day for years. With the success of Creed in the Rocky franchise, if they do another one with Michael B. Jordan starring as Donnie Creed, do you think we could see Ivan Drago make an appearance? Not in a boxing role, but keep it more of a dramatic role like they did with Rocky in the recent one. Something like Rocky introducing Donnie to Drago because Drago to make amends for killing Apollo. I would think that would be a situation in the Creed family storyline, especially with Dolph Lundgren still close with Stallone and making all of these Expendables movies. Thanks."
Christian, what do you think of that idea?
His idea I love. I don't want to see him be a villain. I don't want to see him is that you can cross over into Cheese Factor right now. Now look, I know I'm going to get a big gasp here.
You will.
And I love watching Rocky 4.
Christian.
It is by far the 4 movies the cheesiest and works so well for the times. It was a perfect 80s movie. It really was. I mean, all the Russians decided they're going to cheer for Rocky at the end of the movie, and then he ends the Cold War. It was amazing. Yeah. But
yeah. Rocky 4 is one of the best documentaries ever made.
It's a lot of fun, and I love watching it. But, you know, we got to be, especially what they did with Creed, they based a lot of it in realism. And if you bring Drago in, that he is apologetic and that they are, who knows what's happened to him in the last 30 years. I'd be very interested. You remember also, Stallone loves bringing back old characters. He was supposed to bring back Clubber Lang in Rocky Balboa, just as like a commentator, but Mr. T wanted like a ridiculous amount of money, so it never happened, which I don't understand, Mr. T. What are you doing? But I think it's a great idea. I think that it also helps further the story and some more closure for Adonis.
Mark?
My heart's on fire. There's a strong desire raging deep within to see Ivan Drago come back to the Rocky franchise. Have him call Rocky Balboa out, then Rocky can come out of retirement again, and they can fight for a second time. Short of that, I would love to see him come back in some capacity. Think about if he does have regrets for killing Apollo in the ring, if he feels bad about it. The meeting between Adonis Creed and the guy who accidentally, though it may have been, killed his dad in the ring. It was accidental. He wasn't trying to kill. I mean,
he held him up. He could have just let him fall. I mean,
yeah. It didn't. It wasn't totally on purpose. I think he was just trying to teach him a lesson.
How to die.
Yeah. And then the lesson became Cate Blanchett from Thor walking up and bringing him off. But I would love to see Dolph Lundgren come back to this franchise in some capacity.
Yeah, I'm with Christian. Where I'm more with Phil. I'd like that to see it as more of a dramatic purpose where he comes back, wants to make some amends. I don't want to see some sort of like mini Ivan Drago come up, either Drago's son or some sort of Russian boxer that's like up and coming and wants to fight Creed. That would be cheesy. I agree with you. I love watching Rocky 4. I know people bash on it all the time. I think some people would find this, blasphemous, but I think the training sequence in Rocky 4 is my favorite.
It's great.
Oh yeah, there's
where he's
pretty
climbing
much
the mountain,
back to back.
where he's climbing the mountain. He's like carrying the wood, and then they're contrasting with Drago inside the facility with the steroids and all that stuff. I love the ending speech with the "If I can change, you can change." Yeah,
it's great.
Love it. But yeah, you're right. With Creed, it has to be more realistic. That's you have to bring Coogler back. You got to maintain that same tone that they had in the first one. You can't do, the cheesy Cold War thing from the 80s.
And you say that though too, and like there are some movies that work with other directors. There are some that don't. I think that Coogler is one. If you're going to do sequels for Creed, you lock him up for as many sequels as you can get because of his passion and the way that he is responsible for bringing this back. It's him. It's not Stallone. It is Ryan Coogler who had this idea. Stallone wanted to put it to bed. Yeah. So you have Coogler, and from everything that Coogler did, being such a fan of the first movie and what he did, and the parallels that you saw with the first one, I'd be okay with a lot of the parallels from the other movies, kind of taking bits and cherry picking from those movies and putting it into the new movies, still standing on its own. But what if Drago doesn't really show up until like the third Creed movie and almost serves the same type of role that Apollo Creed did? When Rocky eventually might go, maybe he doesn't. Maybe who knows? This Drago being, I'm just saying, you never know what role Drago could serve.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.